Welcome to the Online Success Journey podcast, your opportunity to discover and learn from entrepreneurs like yourself. This is not your typical podcast, but a place where you can get the real story and find out how real people encounter speed bumps and detours, but journey through to find success. Now here's your host for the Online Success Journey podcast, Patience.
Hello everyone and welcome to Online Success Journey. This is episode 26. Are you ready to join the clan? Today we have Maura Sweeney. Maura is an international speaker, an influential voice for anyone seeking an inspired and a purposeful life. With an eclectic and comprehensive background of corporate leadership, business ownership, travel to 50 plus countries and times as a homeschooling mom, Maura offers the right mix of life experience to help others navigate their own. She's called Ambassador of Happiness by the UNESCO Center for Peace. Hello, Maura.
Hello, Patience. I am so happy to be with you today. Thanks for inviting me.
Thank you for coming. We are really anxious to hear all about you. My clan here is anxious to hear your story. So let's get started with the basics. Can you tell my clan a little bit about your background, about what you did before you started your online business? Take us right up to the last job or business before you are online.
Oh my goodness, it's a long time, but I will make it short as well as I can. I came from New Jersey in the United States where my family wanted one thing for me, and that was that I would become a lawyer. And I was halfway through law school and I thought, I am so not happy and I'm not feeling any sense of purpose in having a future career in law. So I took a huge plunge and left law school in an effort to find out what made me happy and feel purpose-filled from the inside. And that brought me to about a decade-long career in the telecommunications industry where I managed at two national companies, did very well in management where I learned how much I enjoy being around people, finding their talents, developing them, promoting them, and creating great atmospheres. And we did very well. And then after a decade of that, I ended up leaving when I had our first and only child, stayed home with her, as you referenced, as a homeschooling mom. But while I did that, I also helped work with my husband. We established our own computer rep business. We did that for another 10 years or so. And as our daughter, who we homeschooled, was very independent, getting ready to leave the nest, starting at 13 when she left she was here locally going to college, we thought, are we going to spend the rest of our years working in the computer industry, which was profitable, Patience, but it wasn't really giving us a lot of purpose. So we closed it. We set out on something new. My husband created a sports entertainment character, and I started doing everything I loved, which was inspiring other people to follow their own life journey and create careers that they enjoyed. And it turned into my own new career, which, as you said, I'm now known as the Ambassador of Happiness. I travel the globe. I'm a podcaster. I'm on Huffington Post. And I do several interviews a week with people like you who love to find others that are inspiring and making new lives online for themselves.
Wow, that's a great background, Maura.
It's a lot of stuff, but that's what it is.
It's really exciting
and I'm happy.
stuff. Yes. So help us connect with you. Tell us one thing, is a business or a personal, that we want to know about you, even if you have been around everywhere.
Okay, this is going to be funny. I'm known as the Ambassador of Happiness, but when I was a little girl, my grandmother had a nickname for me, and she called me Waterworks because she said, Maura, every time I look at you, you start to cry. So that's pretty funny that you could start out as a crybaby and end up as the Ambassador of Happiness.
Wow, that is something different.
It is crazy, right?
Yes. Okay. Now that you are successful, you travel around the world, you've been everywhere, people tend to think the sunshine is always shining, so you are successful. Nothing, no problem. Did you have any setbacks while you started your online business?
Oh, that's a great question, Patience, because what I learned is that everything I did online, I had to learn. I was used to working with typewriters, with pen and paper. And when I started doing what I was doing, I had to learn all kinds of digital platforms. So one followed another. And I can remember feeling so overwhelmed at times, but I'm glad I pursued. And I'm so thrilled. But yes, that was the challenge, learning so many new platforms, including how to create my own little YouTube video series.
Wow. I know Declan he is anxious to hear about how you got through this in part 2, but for now, tell us, what do you think is the reason for your online success journey?
The reason for my success, or the reason why I took the journey, I would say my journey has been a life journey. I really believe in a better world. I believe in having people follow their own dreams and passions, just like I have. As far as my online success, you know what I'm going to attribute that to is perseverance. I love what I do, and I'm so truly purposed in sharing my thoughts with others that really I never gave up. I just kept putting out content on so many different platforms. And the more I did it, the more people seemed to find me, and I struck a familiar chord.
Wow. So, Maura, how can adults really connect with their inner GPC to find happiness?
What I always tell people to do is this: we think all the time with our brains, and our brains are really formulated by what the media tells us, what society tells us. Instead, I tell everybody else to go within the internal GPS for happiness. And I say, close your eyes, put your hand over your heart, and immediately your attention will go from your brain down to your soul. And start asking yourself, bring me back to some memories of growing up or years ago. What kinds of things was I doing that I really enjoyed? And the moment a memory hits you and you start to smile, you know you just connected with something you love and something that's near and dear to you. And as people connect with what they love, patience, and they start to follow and develop themselves along that path, they will not only be happy, but they will ultimately feel very fulfilled and successful in life.
Maura, we know that everyone online wants their needs met, problem solved. My clan also is the hungry entrepreneurs wanting the same thing, and they want to move their business forward. What is your focus or specialty online?
Well, my upcoming focus, I think, is probably very important. Patience, when I started this, my online work was all free. I wanted to get out as much as I possibly could for influence. And I realized that people, after a while, needed more content from me that I just didn't have enough time to write letters for. So in the next 2 weeks, will be releasing my e-course, the first ever, and it's Foundations of Happiness. And it's for people who really want to learn how to retrain their thinking and connect on the inside, follow their passions, and live a more purposeful life. And so that's my first, I would say that is the first major thing I've done online in terms of making it a business element, but more because I didn't have enough time to write enough letters to people.
Oh, okay. So you are dodging. You wanted a bit time of your own.
At the end of last year, I just came back from travels. It was over 3 weeks to the Balkans, 6 countries. I spoke 8 times, and I was doing so much work, and I thought, I can't keep up with my forms. I need to create a solid course so that people who need more help will have access to what I do. And for me, I love putting together the course. I'm so excited to release it, and I have other online platforms that are so interested in carrying it as well, because it's something that addresses everybody's need. Who am I? What do I love to do? And how can I feel happy and purpose-filled in life and also in my career? And that's what I kind of address in all of my work, and especially the course.
Okay. Why do most people refuse to leave their comfort zones?
Excellent question. I would say most people don't want to look foolish. We grow up and we know what we're good at, and we know the unwritten rules, and we know that to step out of those zones means that we might have to start like a child again. We might fall and trip a couple of times. And then sometimes our egos don't want us to give up old friendships, old peer groups. So there's several reasons, but I would say a comfort zone is a place where we feel a sense of security and we're afraid to step out. But stepping out, patience, is the very way that we get to be happier, and we also discover our brighter and bigger self.
Okay, wow. Okay. I know you have this inspiring podcast. Where do we find this podcast? How can we get it?
Well, if people are on iTunes or Stitcher, they could look up Maura Sweeney. My podcasts are Living Happy Inside Out, but the easiest way is to go to my website, Maura, for the number U, the letter, so maura4u.com, and there are links to connect visitors of my everything, iTunes podcasts and Huffington Post, and my books on Amazon, and my course and my free book. So there's
Ooh, so everything is all
everything is
through
and 200
maura4u.com.
Yes,
Wow.
even 250 of my YouTube videos. I have so much content for people that really want to get back in touch with who they are and live a life that's happy from the inside out.
Wow. Clan, Maura is going to hang out and share more information about her journey with us. If you can rate where Maura started her travels so far, or if you just want to learn more about Maura, you can listen to the extended version of her journey at onlinesuccessjourney.com. If you are listening at the journey, by clicking on part 2 of Maura's journey, you will get even more tips to help you with your own life, touching and reconnecting with your old self and become brand new and be successful. And also you'll be accessing to all our journey podcasts there. That's a wrap, clan. Remember, success is a journey. Patience and Maura, join us in part 2 at onlinesuccessjourney.com.
This is not the end of the journey. We hope you've enjoyed listening to part 1 and want to be sure you know there is a second part to this and every journey podcast at onlinesuccessjourney.com, filled with even more success tips, uplifting stories, and even a bit of fun. There are dozens of episodes only available to the members of the Online Success Journey clan. Check out the website and click on Join the Clan for more information. Patience would like to thank you for listening to this podcast, and she has a free audio gift for you at her website. Go to onlinesuccessjourney.com for instant access to this gift. Of course, you know that listening to the journeys of others helps each of us chart our own path. So make sure you're subscribed to be notified as each new interview is posted. There are so many ways to stay connected to the Online Success Journey and to listen in. And if you're enjoying the podcast, we appreciate your help in telling others. One of the best ways to share the benefit you get is to rate and review it at Stitcher and other sites by clicking the stars or completing the ratings form, by clicking thumbs up and leaving a comment on YouTube, or liking and sharing the podcast on social media. To review the podcast within iTunes, simply open iTunes to the podcast, click on Ratings and Reviews, then write a review. On behalf of Patience, and until next time, thanks once more for listening. It is our hope that this podcast will guide you on your own online success journey.